Okay, thanks for being on tonight. We have a ton of new coaches, so thank you all for being here. We're so excited to have you guys as part of our growing team. So tonight we are going to hear from Mandy, who is not really a new coach anymore, but she just hit the ground running right out of the gate last July, I think, right? July was when she signed up to be a coach and has just been an instant leader on our team and had amazing success right when she started. So this is actually a call that she gave. Um, like, I think he'd been coaching for like a month and she was just like killing it. And so we reached out to her to give this call and it was so good. So I wanted her to give it again because we have a lot of new coaches. But before we jump into that call, I wanted to go over some quick announcements and then we'll hand it over to Mandy. But first things first, Bar Blend is one of our new programs that launched in January. And this is kind of like news for new coaches. Anytime you have, you have Beachbody On Demand access to a library full of programs like 80-Day Obsession and Insanity and P90X. And there's tons of programs already on your library. But when Beachbody launches a new program, I liken it to a movie that goes to the theater. So before a movie, a brand new movie comes to your Netflix, it goes to the theater. And people who want to see the movie early in the fancy seats before everybody else pays a fee to see it before everybody else. So that's how I liken our new programs. Like Bar Blend, it launched in January for early VIP access for people who wanted to pay for it early, but it wasn't going to release to the library or unlock to the library until June. Same thing with like The Work was a new program last fall. It released to the library in April. And same thing with our brand new 10 rounds program. It is launching for all customers this coming Monday, April 6th, for VIP early access only. It's not going to be for everybody on the library until October, I believe. So just as a heads up, that's how Beachbody is working new program launches right now. I think I saw that they are releasing Bar Blend a month early, like now. So that's some news. And then super sad news, anybody who had signed up for this coming summit. Summit is our annual coach conference. All coaches from all over the nation, Canada and the UK, come together in the summer, usually it's in July, to have this huge coach conference. This year it was going to be in New Orleans. And as we know, with this pandemic going on, today they officially canceled that. So you will be getting your refund for the ticket that you purchased. So I'm super sad, but I'm just praying that this thing will I don't even know. We're not going to talk about the virus tonight, but hopefully we can get back to normal life next year because Summit is such a fun time to get together and be together in person, not virtually. You get to listen to top coaches. There's live workouts, there's parties, and it's just amazing. So put that on your radar for next year. And then next week, the topic we're going to talk about on Team Call, we're going to be talking about going Emerald and what that means to rank advance from coach to Emerald rank and how to do that. And then we're also going to talk about the importance of being a success starter. So come next week for that. It's going to be awesome. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, this is exciting for literally everybody on this call. We are going to be hosting our first ever Diamond Retreat next year, so next spring, so we can have something to look forward to. Details to come, but it's going to be for any coach on our team and this whole team. If you rank advance to Diamond in the year this year, 2020, you will qualify to get to come on that retreat. And it's either going to be in like a super awesome Airbnb down in Florida or in Arizona, but details to come. So get excited for that and put it on your goal vision board to be a diamond coach by the end of the year, because you are not going to want to miss out on that diamond retreat. It's going to be freaking awesome. So with that, I am going to hand this over to Mandy, and you can take it away.
Awesome. I just checked the coach news about the bar, and it's $20 off till the 23rd, and then it's releasing early onto Beachbody On Demand on April 24th. So.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, I have a PowerPoint, so I'm going to bring this up and share it and share my screen real quick. So let me figure this all out. Oh shoot, I should probably share my screen with you first. One time I did a team call without even sharing my screen, and I thought everyone could see my PowerPoint, and no one could. So I'm not gonna mess that up again.
That was sad.
Okay, can you guys see?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be about how I found success early on in my business. So just a little bit about me and my story. This is a screenshot of like my pictures of me on Facebook from November of 2017. So this was right after I broke up with a guy that I was dating for 5.5 years. We lived together. We had a dog. That's our dog in the top row. And I broke up with him and moved back in with my parents, and it was the most heartbroken and upset that I have ever been in my entire life. I lost like 30 or 40 pounds. I wasn't eating. I was drinking all the time. It was super unhealthy, and I was really far away from God at that point too, because I was just like super upset that we didn't work out. And honestly, I was praying that this guy would find Jesus and then come back to me with a ring, essentially. So if you can see in these pictures, like almost every single one of them is at a bar or I have a drink in my hand. So this was like the season right before I started coaching. This was like the winter before that, July. And then in February, I met my husband, Caleb. This is on our second date, and the day we like officially started dating. And this was like when I first started pursuing a lot of like emotional healing. And this was just like 5-ish months before I started coaching. So if you can imagine breaking up with a guy that I was with for almost 6 years, and then 2 months later meeting Caleb, who is like the most amazing man of God. And he encouraged me to not only forgive my ex, but have like a reconciliation of like a friendship, and like encouraging him to find Christ, and just crazy. So 8 months later we got married, and yeah, he's great. So in that time I went to counseling twice a week, 2 different therapists, like a lot of stuff, but I still wasn't working out, wasn't eating well. And during all of this as well, our wedding day was on finals week. I was going to school to be an elementary education teacher. I got my degree. And so I was finishing my last semester of school, like in classes. We got married, and then 2 weeks later, I started student teaching. So I graduated in May. So the first like 4 or 5 months of marriage, I was student teaching. We lived in a really small apartment that was really far away from a lot of people. So like we didn't really have community at this point. It was just a big season of transition. So a lot of things were changing. And during student teaching, I was not prepping food. So I ended up gaining a bunch of weight. And it was like, I knew that I wanted to change, and I knew that I needed something. Meanwhile, at this time, I was following my coach on Instagram, who's Kate. And I was just seeing like how much joy she had and her relationship with her husband. And she was a teacher too. And so I was seeing like, okay, we have a lot in common. And I actually reached out to a different coach first, and got all the details. So I knew how much it was. I had a share cart link from her, but she wasn't a Christian. And so it's really interesting, I think, like when I finally messaged Kate, I was like ready to sign up because I had pursued other gyms and it was like hundreds of dollars a month. And I'm like, I cannot afford that. And so when I finally texted Kate, I was like, hi, I want to sign up with you. And it's like, no one really ever does that, especially for coaching. And I didn't even know I was going to coach. Like, she literally asked me, do you want to work on you or do you want to help other people and make an income? Meanwhile, I have $50,000 of student loans and I don't have a teaching job. So I'm like, yep, I'll do the second option. So started coaching. And when I signed up, it was July 11th. And I freaking killed it. And I didn't even know that it was a big deal, like what I was doing. But my first month, Success Club 16, my second month, Success Club 26. Okay, my last 3 months, I have only gotten Success Club 8. So like this team call, when I was asked to lead it today, I'm like, yes, because I need to go back to do what I was doing at this point. And so this will be good for you new people and also good for me to like get my crap together, because if I could do this, then I can continue to do this. But essentially these are posts from our upline, who's Julie Kemp, and she just posts every month to show you like who's doing this, like whoever has their picture, they hit Success Club 10. All these other people are people who have helped people but didn't hit Success Club 10. So did really good. This is what I did. So the first thing is to find joy in this yourself. So if you have a notebook or if you're a note taker, just jot down like some of the ways that this has changed your life, because it's really, really important for you to know like, how has this helped me? Because that is how you're going to be able to help other people, is remembering this, posting about this, sharing about this, and just remembering like, okay, before I didn't have a gym and I had nowhere to work out. And if I would have worked out at a gym, I would have gone in and had no idea what to do. So like, once you're in it for a while, it's kind of like you have access to the workouts or the nutrition, and it's like you don't really recognize how much of a gift it is. So like figuring out like, oh my gosh, this helps me so much, and finding joy in that. Also, how I shared about this, I shared about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was literally on my stories like crying at like how many people I was helping, and like I don't even want to see them because I know I'm just so emotional sometimes, but I'm like, okay, I was so vulnerable on my stories that it was like, I did not care what people thought, because I knew that I had something that was changing my life and I wanted to help other people. So that goes into that fear is a liar. So you'll be hesitant to share about this because you'll care about what other people think, and you don't want people to think that you're just trying to be like some slimy salesperson. You'll worry about what your friends and family will say. There's plenty of different reasons of why you would have fear, but just remembering that this is a gift and that you needed this, and all of you are here because you found joy in it. And there are still other people out there who don't have freedom from food addictions or binge eating or sugar addictions, or just finding joy and figuring out something in order to enjoy working out. Like I've never enjoyed working out. I was the girl who was like the slowest at the mile in PE. I've literally never enjoyed fitness or sports. Like I was out for sports, but I was always on the bench, and like I've never really enjoyed fitness. Like I would be the person like saying like fitness whole pizza in my mouth. Like I never had a reason to enjoy working out. And so figuring out like I found this and other people are still needing this. And the last thing is being consistent. So I always remind my coaches when they're like, oh, people keep saying no. I'm like, yeah, you said no to me how many times? And I continue to follow up with you because I figured out what their why was, and then I continue to follow up with them because they're not just a number. They're not just a Success Club point. And showing up daily and earning their trust by being on your stories every single day will show them that you're not going anywhere, and this isn't just something that you're trying out. And it doesn't mean that you have to have 100 Success Club points to be a successful coach. If you're showing up and doing your part by working on you, that will show them that you're consistent and that you're going to continue to see results, and you'll have more to share if you're consistent with your own journey. So scheduling your days, this looked really different for me than a lot of other coaches because I was a server. So really figuring out what your leisure time is that you have, which leisure just means like you're not working and you're not sleeping. So what time do you have, and schedule it out. So for me, I would wake up around 10 a.m. because I wouldn't get home until like midnight from Texas Roadhouse. I would read first and I would always share it. And I always post my devotional, and I have another devotional that I do, but I always take a picture of my devotional. And when I first started, I did Morning Meltdown 100, and I had 100 Days to Brave, what I was reading. And I would always share about those first. And then I would do my workout. So I would share my workout clips, and I would do those every single morning on my stories. And I'm not kidding you, when I finished Morning Meltdown 100, there were people who I didn't even know were watching me coming out of the woodwork and saying, "You are so inspiring. I've been cheering you on this whole time. I can't believe you actually finished this program. That is so awesome." So even if you feel like no one's paying attention or no one cares or you're nervous to share it, there are so many people who are going to be watching you and inspired by you, and just consistently saying yes and showing up is going to help so many people. Even if it's not with working out, if it's just like sharing to be consistent. And I don't know, I was like talking about how before I wouldn't even like shower or brush my teeth or wash my face regularly, because like the hygiene stuff of like taking care of yourself during student teaching kind of goes out the window. So just sharing about all of that was really encouraging for people. Like people were like, "Yeah, me too, I hate taking showers." And I'm like, okay, that's kind of gross, and I maybe couldn't have shared that, but people will know like, okay, you're real and you're not just like some superhero that likes to work out all the time. So I would spend 1 to 2 hours a day working on my power hour, and I would use the business activity tracker. A couple of reasons why I like the tracker is you recognize, if you use it consistently, the things that you're not doing. So for me, that's coach invites, because I'm like scared to invite to coaching. I'll invite to workouts all day long. Some people it's opposite. For me, that was what I was recognizing, and I still recognize that like I send less coach invites than I would like. So the other reason is because it's really easy to stay on track if you're just checking the boxes and making sure, okay, I posted my moves on my story, I posted some kind of product, I reached out to this many people. And when I send invites in the beginning and now, they were so simple. I would just say, "Hey, I'm not sure if you've seen these workouts I've been doing on my stories, but I wanted to reach out and invite you to do them with me. Have you ever considered joining me?" It's like so simple. I'm not word vomiting all about program and what's included and how many minutes the workouts are. Just ask people like, "Have you seen what I've been doing, and have you ever considered joining me?" And if they say actually yes, then you can like open that door. If they don't reply, continue to invite them. But you'll learn as you go kind of what your groove is with inviting. And then also something that really helped me that my coach did was laying out clothes, looking ahead on food. I follow a different nutrition plan now than when I first started coaching. And it really just tells you like you need veggies, you need protein, you need carbs. And I highly, highly suggest following a nutrition plan when you first get started, because I have only been following the nutrition plan like to a T for like a month. And I've been doing these programs for like 9 months. And with like, I don't want to swear, but like half-assed nutrition and working out, I've lost almost 50 pounds. And I can't even imagine how much my results would be better if I would have had the nutrition the entire time. So I highly recommend To Be Mindset. I might talk a little bit more about that, but also there's an app that you can download called Plann, Plann, and that will allow you to draft up your posts, see what it's going to look like on your feed before you post it. And also you can type up your caption in that app. So that's some things that I would do to plan ahead the night before, so that that next day I can just go in, click post. You can actually schedule it to post it for you at a certain time. But it kind of takes the stress out of it versus like, oh my gosh, I have to post today, or I wanted to take a picture and create content today. Having those pictures and the content already created will help you to know what you're going to do that day. So key tips that have worked for me: do the things even on the days when you're not feeling it. You will not regret it. You will never regret doing a workout, besides maybe if you're sick, but listen to your body. Post every single day on your stories. So as a Christian, I like to take a Sabbath once a week. I still share on my stories on that day, maybe like a couple of things, but I'm not as present. But every single day, or just update your people who are watching you and say like, I'm unplugging for the weekend to spend time with family. You don't need to always be on social media, but being consistent, getting on camera and talking to your followers. If you ever follow anyone on Instagram who consistently takes videos and I don't know, shares more than just like a picture of food, a picture of, I don't know, like the watch after you work out, like a picture of, I don't know, people who share pictures versus people who share videos. You feel so much more connected. Like you actually know the people when you like watch the videos, which is so encouraging. And you want your followers to get to know you because that builds trust. Also, lean into community and build relationships. So that means people who are on this call follow each other, engage on each other's content, maybe start a group chat with new coaches, like be proactive with that, make friends with other coaches because these are the people that you're going to be working with. And it's so fun to have the relationships. And it's also so much easier because you're not on your own, and trying to do this on your own is going to make it a lot more work for you and it'll make it a lot harder. Also, don't mention Beachbody product names. I think we've already talked about this in the team call, but you're not trying to sell Beachbody. You're trying to show your transformation and people are going to be attracted to that. So this is a huge, huge thing that I really want to stress to you guys is leading with a servant heart. So we get to bless people and we get to help them with what they need. So when I first talk to people, I usually, once I know they're interested, I'll say, like if I give them my invite and they're like, actually, yeah, I'm interested, I'll say, awesome. What are your goals on your wellness journey, or what are your goals on your fitness journey? This is where you figure out their why. If they respond and say, actually, I'm really good at going to the gym, but my nutrition sucks, you're not going to push the workouts. You're going to talk to them about the nutrition. And this is why it's also important for you to get a handle on your nutrition, because for me, I always kind of felt clueless until like 2 months ago, on when people need help with nutrition. I would feel like I was like running to other coaches and asking them, when if you have that, you can help them even more. Or if they say, I feel like I'm pretty good with food, but I have no idea what to do when I walk into a gym. That one's really easy. We have trainers who set up the workouts and we just have to give them the Netflix for workouts essentially. So actually listen to their needs, and also this helps with following up. So if they stop messaging you back, you can follow up in a couple of days and say, hey, Emily, I knew that you really were excited about this and that you really need help with your workouts. I really just want to follow up and make sure that you know that I'm here for you and see what questions or concerns you have, or something like that. Figuring out what they said in the script already and then bringing it back to that when they stop texting you back is like, remind them, like, remember you said you need help with this? Remember you said you're sick of sitting at home doing nothing? Like, remember you said you need help with nutrition? Pull from what we have to offer. So some things are community, nutrition, structure, flexibility, all of those things. So this next part is going to be about, this is like a term that we use on our team. It's feel, felt, found. And this is a way to counteract objections, or to kind of come back. So if someone tells you, I don't have enough money, I can't do this, don't be like, oh, dang, they don't have enough money. And then be like, okay, sorry for texting you or messaging you. Saying, I feel you. I felt the exact same way when I first started, or before I first started. Like when you first find out about these programs and you hear $160, I'm sure we all had a different idea. Is that a lot? Is it a little? Whatever. But from that, it's, I feel what you're saying. Like, I hear you. I'm validating your concern. I felt the exact same way, but I've found that $160 over a whole year is only like $12 a month, which is like cheaper than Netflix. And you get community, you get accountability, you get the workouts, you get so many meal plans, you get access to all of this stuff. So this is an example of that. This is someone who, back in July, so weird, I messaged her and asked if she'd be interested in starting the workouts. And she said, hey, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy. I'm watching your stories. It really intrigued me. I was going to reach out to you. Your before and after is so inspiring. That's only 3 weeks. I've been so stuck physically and emotionally. I think this could help me so much. I definitely think it's something I'd be interested in. Could you tell me a little more? What's the cost? What's the accountability? Are the workouts on my phone or TV? Any info would be awesome. So I talked to her. She quit replying. Then she messaged me and said, I'm not sure if this fits the budget. And I was like, I hear you. And I felt that once too. But I think you're worth investing in. It's only $13.30 a month, since it's a full year of workouts, and it comes with a month's supply of pre and post workout. You need this, girl. I believe in you. She keeps forgetting to respond. And then she comes back and she said, I just got a gym membership. And I'm like, sweet, that sucks. But I said, you can still use this at the gym. And then I followed up with her again. So this was like, I don't know, July 31st, and then it says Wednesday. So I don't know what day this is. But I followed up with her again, and I'm like, when you first messaged me, like, I resonated with that so much. I felt so stuck. And if you're still feeling that while at the gym, I really want to help you, whatever. I just got 6 more promo codes. So I addressed, she said, I didn't think she had any money. I got 6 more promo codes, and I had her name written down. I'm like, I need to reach out to her again. She ends up messaging me back, and she said, the more I thought about it, the more I feel like I need to do this. I feel like each thing you post, I relate to so much, whether there's still a promo code or not, I feel like I need to do this. I just watched your video and you talking about your anxiety, and that's where I am right now. She talks about how anxiety has always been an issue. She needs the accountability. She said, I just want to thank you for being so vulnerable in your posts. It always helps me feel like I'm not alone. So she literally gave me like 2 or 3 objections, but I kept following up with her. And this is where there's so much power in a follow-up, and also why the feel, felt, found method is so vital for you to use, because it's true that people don't think that they have enough time or money or space in their house. Someone told me that once. Like, there's so many different objections, but you can totally convince them by your posts, your vulnerability, all of those things. So that was that. So these are some pictures from when I first started coaching. So this was my first coaching post. This is in my dirty living room. I just did makeup for a hair and wedding. I hadn't showered in I don't even know how long. I got my weights at Goodwill. I got my mat at Goodwill. I did it on the TV. Yeah, and I had no cute workout clothes when I first started working out, so I was like, whatever, I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So I just came on and said, like, I finally found something that like helps me like working out, and I'm so excited because I'm finally taking care of this gift of my body that's a temple of the Holy Spirit. And that's essentially all that I said. I didn't even say I was a coach. I didn't say Beachbody. Like, that's what I posted. And then I think this one was the next post, which that sports bra doesn't even fit me anymore. So that's crazy. But I just said, like, this workout sucked, and I had to pause it. And I, like, today was really hard, essentially. This was my first day of morning meltdown. And then this was my first transformation photo. That was just 3 weeks of working out. And like I said, I didn't even know what I was doing for nutrition. I would like think I was eating healthy because it's a salad, but probably used way too much dressing. And yeah, I wasn't drinking enough water either. But this was when I first started. So I was not perfect, and I just shared about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, I shared all of it. Now, which this isn't my current feed, but when I first did this in August, I really had to work on overcoming imposter syndrome. So when you first sign up as a coach, you need to recognize what your job actually is. So if you've never heard of imposter syndrome, it's like when you're posing as someone that you're not. Your job as a coach is to work on yourself and cheer other people on. You are not a personal trainer. You are not a registered dietitian or nutritionist. You are literally giving people personal trainers and nutritionists. Like, you're giving them to other people. You're helping them get connected with what you already are connected with. And your job is to be a professional encourager. So this is like, you are just being 100% honest and vulnerable on social media. You're sharing all about it. You are not making meal plans. If you don't want to, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We have so many. You are not planning workouts. You do not have to have a degree. You can be a coach from day one, and that has to be your mindset because you have so many people that you can help. The other thing is overcome what your mother-in-law thinks or whoever your mother-in-law is for you. So my mother-in-law unfollowed me on social media. Oh man, I'm like not even upset about this, but it gets my blood boiling still. I've already forgiven her. She like called me annoying to my family. I don't know. I was like crying a lot over her, but I was helping 26 people like my first month. So it's like, this is something where I had to get over it. I had to just like, okay, she doesn't agree with it. She thought it was a pyramid scheme. She thought that I was like screwing people over, when really like I'm praying for people weekly from weekly check-ins, and I'm giving people what they need to find freedom. Like I'm doing things that God has like called me to do, which is so frustrating because even Christians will say stuff like that. And you just have to know, like, this is what my job is, and I've been called to this. And you just have to like bless and release, forgive them, and just let them think what they want, because there are women who need you. This is something that I did for a while. I haven't been doing this because sometimes when I would ask people, they would quit replying. But I told her everything that she would get, and then, or this person in particular, and I asked her how much she guessed all of that was. She literally guessed $400. It's $160. And she's like, okay, so how do I start? So this is not too much money. This is such a good deal. Like people, today I was behind a Farrell's fitness and body shaping car. And I remember when I was looking for gyms, I looked into that. It was like $600 every 10 weeks or something. Like that is stupid expensive. And I was just like laughing because I'm like a Beachbody coach behind them going to Aldi. Like you're totally screwing people over. That is so much money. But it's crazy. People think this is so expensive and it's so affordable. You guys, you spend $10, $15 a day going out to eat or getting coffee or going on random trips to Target. Like people have the money, they can afford it. It's just figuring out that one, they want to change their life, and two, that they're ready to change their life. So being okay with being vulnerable. So on that last screenshot I showed you from the girl who said like, thank you for sharing, I went on and did an IGTV that was like 10 or 15 minutes long, just talking about how bad my anxiety used to be versus how much better it started getting when I started working out. And saying like I struggle with anxiety and sharing like this is what my life used to look like and this is the breakthrough that I've already found, that alone, like 3 or 4 people joined me like that week that I posted that video. So it's like figuring out, okay, what do I struggle with that I'm staying silent about? Because the enemy wants you to stay silent about the things that are sucking in your life. And how can I share about that in a way that's positive and uplifting and encouraging for other people? And I also did the same thing on my stories and with my captions. So here's just a few ideas on who to invite. People who like your content, so your posts on Instagram or Facebook. People who view your stories, which I still haven't changed my Instagram to a business profile, which it's totally up to you if you want to. You can see a lot of stats that way. I kept mine because at one point I did change it to a business profile, and I had a few challengers who were only on Facebook and not Instagram, and they told me like they really loved having my stories on Facebook. And I'm still signing people up from Facebook. So I do Facebook and Instagram at this point. It's totally up to you which platform you want to use. A to Z, your friends on Facebook, and literally just scroll through. I have like over 2,000 friends. Scroll through and invite people. Invite people that you've never met. Invite people from high school. Invite people that like you might have past beef with because they might be following you and you might be encouraging them. Invite all of the people. Do not predetermine whether or not they would want this or not, because you have no idea where they're at. And then friends, family, and coworkers. So these are a few of the people that I invited. Taylor is our neighbor. We needed a subleaser. She came to my house to see our house to see if she wanted to move in. When she was there, she tried my pre-workout. I showed her the workouts. By the time she left, she was a Beachbody coach, which is like the funniest thing. Ashley's my manager. She signed up. This is Emily. She's my coworker. She signed up. Autumn works in the kitchen. I had never talked to her before. I literally said, hey, would you want to work out with me? And she was like, sure. And she signed up. This is my friend Jack, his roommate Kelsey. They signed up. This is my other manager, Carly. She signed up. Briley, I used to work with at Roadhouse. She sent me like a book in my email telling me like what has been going on in her life and how much she needed this when she first joined. And I was like blown away because she was like, can I just send you this? Like, it's like pretty much a journal entry, but I'm just so thankful. Jen and I went to high school with her. We were in band together and sat across from each other. We never talked to each other, but she and I have became really close. And then Abby, this is a girl I met at a bar in Ames when I used to drink when Caleb and I were engaged. And she was wearing a flannel and a nose ring and a scrunchie. And we had the same, like, I'm like, I need to know her. And so we connected on social media. I ended up inviting her later. She joined. So that's just like showing you like, those are the kinds of people you need to be reaching out to right now, especially as a new coach. This is just some ideas. If you see any of these that you want to write down, this is in Thrive United's page, but this is like posts about coaching, and these are ideas that you can do. So before I was this, now I am this, I got there by doing this. These are just some ideas, and I have a few more slides, so you can find this on Thrive's file tab. And then my best piece of advice that I have for you is to be yourself, share authentically, take care of you, because you cannot invite to something that you aren't finding joy in and that you're not finding success in as far as your own physical journey, not with coaching. You can start coaching from day one, no matter if you have anyone on your team or not, and then invite others to join you. Say no to fear and yes to the invitation to help others. And the last thing I have is just a quote: a job should employ God-given talents in a way that glorifies him. I haven't been able to see the chat, so I'll check it out.
My mind's blown. It was just as good as last time. That was amazing. Okay, does anyone have questions? We've got 3 minutes. Shiva left us time to ask questions. I don't even do that. Okay, let's look at the chat. Does anyone have questions? You can either unmute yourself or anything to add. Kate, do you have anything?
I don't have anything to add, but if people don't have any questions, well, we have one. What do you wish you knew when you started, Mandy?
Honestly, nutrition. Like, I've been learning and growing so much in that, and it's like exercise is extra credit on To Be Mindset. So I'm just like so pumped to see my results. Like, I am so excited, and I feel like that's something where like you can't outwork a crap diet, and I thought that I could try. So, and it kind of worked. Like, I lost weight, but I feel a lot healthy. I feel like I can help it now after doing To Be Mindset. What would I have done differently? When I first started sharing, I did blast Beachbody all over my page. Like, I opened like my box when I got it. I was like, Beachbody Morning Meltdown 100, and people were excited about it. But I wish that I would have, like, I don't know, kept it a little more on the DL about what I was doing.
You're finding a good balance with it.
Yeah. I send a video of To Be Mindset that I think Sierra sent to me, so I can copy and paste that link into Thrive. It's like a 3-minute video, all you need to know about To Be Mindset. Also figuring out, there's 2 nutrition plans and they're a little different. So I'm actually about to do an IGTV, I think tomorrow, about the differences. If you want to watch that, that could help.
Sweet. Got less than a minute, FYI.
Hey, Mandy, someone's asking what you say with nutrition. So maybe you can post in the page about just like a short script that you typically use when someone asks about nutrition.
Yeah, I can do that. I don't really have a script, but I'm pumped about it. So I can like make one.
I definitely could benefit from that too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, tonight was so good. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Mandy.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a quick boomerang. So on 3, everybody do something funny. 1, 2, 3. I love you all. Thanks for being on. Great job tonight, Mandy.
Bye.
Have a great week,
you.
guys.
Bye, guys.